Brought to you by Barfoot and Thompson.
On the show today, the fabulous Jaime James is back with all her advice, wisdom and financial knowledge. Welcome to Property Matters. Welcome along to your Monday afternoon. Hope traffic's been kind to you if you're heading home today. Now, on the weekend, we celebrated International Women's Day, and over these 3 weeks have I lined up the best 3 women I know. Last week, you had the fabulous Nicole Lewis telling us about her new book. Next week, Tapari Hewitt is back in the studio, and right in the middle, we have the fabulous Jaime James. I met all 3 of them. It was a few years ago now, wasn't it? We first started this journey, and they continue to be regular guests on the show. So a big welcome back, Jaime.
Thank you so much, Stephen. It's very exciting to be back, and thank you to the listeners.
Now, last time we were about to go on air, and you had to race to hospital because a family member of yours was having a baby.
Yes, my sister, our beautiful little niece, our goddaughter, was born just a few months ago, so thank you.
Now, that was a good excuse to miss the radio show. We let you off for that one.
Thank you.
Now, I know you very well, but for our guests that perhaps don't, tell us a little bit, who is Jaime James? Take us back. When did your journey in this world begin?
Goodness me, about 13 years ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been helping hundreds of families and professionals. We've paid millions in life, health, income and redundancy claims, and we've put millions in KiwiSaver from sleeping savings account into powerful wealth engines. I mean, I've got all sorts of different roles as a mentor, business owner, financial advisor, insurance strategist, KiwiSaver, but my favourite one recently has definitely been godmother.
Yeah, and you know, that's the priorities in life, isn't it? We can get stuck in the business and money, but family you get one shot with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the most important.
Now, often when we catch up, I jump straight to talking about financial road mapping, because I always love that part of your journey and your business, and I think it relates to our guests. But this time, we're going to start a little bit different, because you have been off travelling the world, doing lots of learning yourself, with a recent week in Canada, and from what I'm hearing, switching your focus a little bit to health and wealth and fulfillment. So, kick us off. Where have you been? What's been happening in Canada?
Wow, this has been a dream, Stephen, since 2017.
Your social media, can I say, it was very exciting. Like, we feel like we travelled that journey with you, which was cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? I'm so curious about what creates real health and wealth and fulfillment. And I love learning it, but learning it from the best of the best and living it and sharing it. So imagine sitting in a room at the proverbial table with titans. Like, I'm talking about Ray Dalio, Steve Forbes, Peter Diamandis, Tony Robbins, and Harry Dent. There's 8 billionaires and 22 of the most brilliant minds and pioneers of our time, experts on AI, longevity, investing, from real estate to crypto and stocks and bonds and alternative investments like private equities, and gaining direct insights and access and strategies to where the world is heading, because it's changing. I mean, you think about it. Like, we've been talking for a few years now, and the last 4 years have brought massive change. Yeah. And it's accelerating at an exponential rate. So we've had a black swan event, which was COVID. We've got the ripple effect, which is interest rates, cost of living, AI, redundancies. There's been a massive rising increase in health and income insurance claims. I mean, it looks and feels like a financial landscape that can feel a lot like a roller coaster. And what I've noticed, Stephen, in 13 years of helping people, there is a high correlation between your health and your wealth or your financial well-being. And there's certain patterns and principles. So we know, right? If we want to be healthy, which is fit and strong and flexible and resilient, there's certain patterns and principles to that. And if we want financial well-being and we want our wealth to be fit and strong and flexible and resilient, there's certain patterns and principles. And if you violate those principles, then we can experience pain. So, for example, people, I mean, I worked 3 jobs through school. I bought my first home on my own at age 24. Roll forward a few years, the global financial crisis hit. That was a black swan event. I got made redundant along with lots of people. I was defaulting on my mortgage repayments. And for me personally, it was rock bottom. Like, that really impacted me, not just from my health, but of course from financial side, and life sucked. And I don't want other people to make those rookie mistakes that I did, because I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the strategies, and I didn't have the guidance, and I violated certain principles. So that's why I love learning from the best of the best and helping other people, so that it's just about the 2 millimeter shift. It's what is the difference that can make the difference. Sometimes small shifts made consistently can have massive results. And it's not just for yourself. Your health and your financial well-being, it impacts everybody around you. It's your family, it's your colleagues, it's communities, right? So that's why I absolutely love diving into this area.
So you mentioned going to Canada to see these titans. Unpack just a little bit. What's their background? Why were they your titans? I love that word.
Well, think about Ray Dalio. He's one of the most amazing hedge fund managers and investors of all time. Then you've got Tony Robbins, who's hit his 50 years as a business strategist. Wow. Yeah, philanthropist and helping people in all sorts of different things. And you've got Peter Diamandis, who is absolutely amazing he wants to integrate AI with healthcare so that world-class healthcare can be made free for everybody, and everybody could have access to this. And there was amazing research that they were showing to us about, just with the advancements of that, which is probably one of my top takeaways from the whole week. Which was really unexpected, Stephen. So I was in this room for 5 days, 14 hours a day in a full intensive immersion, thinking tell me, what stock should I invest in, which properties, and all these different things. But this top takeaway was my most valuable, and it had the biggest shift in my thinking and mindset. So obviously, working in insurance, we know all the statistics. The average person is lucky to experience just 80 summers in their lifetime. And when you think about that, often the last 20 summers are usually without health and vitality and energy and financial security. And we've all heard that saying, a healthy person has 1,000 wishes, but a sick person only has one. So health, to me, from my perspective, is your foundation to everything to build upon. That's your relationships, your career, your fun and your adventures and everything else. But without your health, and I've seen this, everything falls apart. So the experts shared that there's all these advancements that are happening at an exponential rate in healthcare, biotechnology, regenerative medicine, that they say by 2030, if you're alive, and this is just around the corner, and you're healthy, you could have the opportunity to extend not just your lifespan, but your health span, to experience health and vitality to 100 plus summers. That just changed everything.
I wish the audience could see your big, beautiful smile on that.
I'm just like, can you imagine? I said to my goddaughter the other day, I was hugging her, she's only a couple of months old, but I know she gets me, and I said, sweetheart, do you know that your favourite auntie is going to be at your 60th birthday, and not just sitting on the sidelines, honey, but we are going to be dancing on that dance floor together, and possibly your kiddies are going to be around us as well, and that's such a compelling future. And I just want to, imagine, and I put this on social media, and so many people reply back, because I asked them, what would you like to experience with an extra 20 summers with
what
health
you
and
could
vitality?
do. And you're right, it's the vitality part, isn't it, is so important.
It is, and it's having that confidence that you're going to have, that you should be able to have independence as well. Because we all think, when you ask people, would you like to live to 100? Most people think no. And the reason is because you think about yourself at that age of, just losing it all and not having that financial security and losing that loss of independence. But things are changing, and they're changing fast. And this is a beautiful, compelling future, not just for yourself, but I think about my parents, that they could experience 20 summers with health and vitality as well.
So how? Did they tell you the how? Do we get there?
Yes, there's the how would be a completely different conversation, because there's patterns and there's principles. Obviously, we know how to keep ourselves healthy. There's certain things that we can do. But with the advancements in AI and technology and healthcare that they're bringing out, it is wild. With gene therapy, they're reversing blindness. It's amazing.
So was AI your second takeaway then?
You read my mind. Yes. Okay, so this was probably... Honestly, this was freaking disturbing. I got disturbed and then I felt empowered, because once you know things, you've got a choice, right? You can either fear it or you can embrace it.
And I think you've just totally summed up everybody with AI. They fear it or they embrace it. There's not a lot in the middle yet going, can I shift that dial from fear to embrace?
I agree.
Or I'm already in embrace, but I don't really understand it. I just love the fact that it's doing this, this, and this for me. But should we fear it as well?
Well, it's completely up to you, right?
Yeah.
There's so many different ways of going about it. But yes, there is. There's AI, there's robotics, there's humanoids. It's all advancing at an exponential rate. I mean, Ray Kurzweil has talked about by 2029, AI will achieve human levels of intelligence. Elon Musk has said by the end of 2025, AI will be vastly smarter than any human. And Stephen, we're seeing this. My team and I have facilitated more redundancy claims in the last 7 months than we have in 13 years combined. I'm talking entire teams completely replaced, highly skilled professionals without roles. But there was this, and yes, we can go into disturbing, but I did see this thing while I was in the room, and it said something along the lines of time is a currency that we all spend, but we never know our balance. Use it wisely. And I thought, wow, that is fascinating, because we're all trying to find ways that we can hack time, that we can buy back time, right? Buy back time so that we don't have to do the things that we don't want to do, and we can enjoy experiencing doing the things that we do want to do, like having more quality time with family. So a lot of us, like yourself, are using, many people are using AI as tools, but the next evolution is robotics. Now, Amazon have employed 750,000 robots in their warehouses. The next shift is humanoids. And this is where you integrate AI with robotics. Okay? Now, there's so many different, there's 6 different companies. So we've got Tesla, that's got Optimus, you've got Boston Dynamics, which has their humanoid of Atlas. And some of these humanoids are at a price point of $16,000.
Wow.
Yeah, you think about this.
Yeah.
So if you could have a humanoid that works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days, that's an hourly rate
Doesn't
of $1.80.
require sick leave or annual leave.
Exactly. And if you're a business, it's you can a depreciating asset, but that's $1.80 per hour. So I don't like washing the dishes, folding clothes. I would rather spend time with my goddaughter. Yeah. So, $1.80 now. So it kind of makes sense when the experts told us that they predicted by 2040 there's going to be 10 billion humanoids on the planet.
Wow.
That's more humanoids than humans. And again, what this isn't.
It sounds
a
like
warning.
something out of a science fiction film, doesn't it?
It does. It does. It's not a warning. This is an invitation. It's an invitation to how can we anticipate change? How can we stay flexible and resilient throughout things that are changing so fast? So, for example, I've got an accountant client. His whole team was replaced by AI, but he pivoted. So now he's using AI, he's built his own business, and now he's doing strategy consulting, which is awesome. So there's a difference. You can either be disrupted or you can reinvent. Right? And you can reinvent yourself, your business, your career, because your value isn't in just what you do. It's about how you evolve. It's about how you connect with people. And it's about how you think. So technology, it's just going to move forward with or without us. And the opportunity belongs to those that anticipate and adapt and take action.
I've got a vision of us, extending that extra 20 summers and a nice humanoid taking care of us in our retirement,
I love that.
Pushing the wheelchair around, making sure we're getting our summers in.
Yes, I love that.
I mean, it is scary. What do you say to somebody who listens to this right now and is sitting in fear of where it's going? Perhaps somebody young into the workforce going, hang on, I've still got a whole lifetime ahead, and if it's moving at this speed, you say pivot and change, but I don't know where I'm going to train in, or because we kind of haven't got all that lined up yet. Like our universities, our colleges, our high schools, they're not ready to be educating the future self to go out into this world, are they?
No, and I 100% agree with you on that. But there is a thing, right? Like, if you imagine somebody 20 years ago trying to explain to us what an iPhone was. Yeah. That would have blown our mind and probably disturbed us, going, what does this mean for me? But now we all have one, and most of us can't do without it. We as humans, we get used to things very
and we
easily.
Adapt quicker than we realise sometimes.
We do, we do. And they did talk about that. They said, there's going to come a point that, it's going to be normal to see a humanoid getting groceries. It's going to be normal to see a humanoid going out and about and doing things. But really the biggest takeaway from that was how to master change. You can anticipate and you can thrive.
So is that your number 3?
This is number 3.
Take it away.
Well, it's like life, right? She moves, it grows, it evolves, it changes with everything. AI, it's markets, it's, your bank account moves, evolves, it changes, the value of your property, your health, everything. So people who win in times of massive change aren't the ones who react. They're the ones who anticipate, and anticipation requires strategy. So we talked about how there's a strong correlation between, financial stress and your health. If you get sick, that can impact your health and your financial well-being. And if that's not resilient and strong and it takes a hit, then that can impact your health and your well-being. So let's look at building your wealth in the same way that you do and that you approach with your health. So here's a safer way. Here's an acronym, an easy one to remember. Let's start with S. Stress test. Stress test your portfolio. In fact, let's play a game. If you're near a piece of paper and a pen, or if you're driving, that's okay, just imagine this. Jot down your 2 biggest assets that you have right now. So for some people, this might be their property portfolio and crypto. For some people, it might be their income and their family home. But just jot down your 2 biggest assets. Then ask yourself these 2 questions. Could I survive a 50% hit? So Ray Dalio talks about every single asset class will drop 50 to 70% at least once in your lifetime. So even if you could stress test your portfolio taking a hit at 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, where do you start feeling like you want to vomit? Where's that tension in your body? And then start making plans around that. For example, let's go into A, which is act now. So I used to have a limiting belief that kept me financially stuck. And that limiting belief was, I'll save and I'll invest when I earn more. Well, the reality is if you're not saving and investing now, you probably won't when you earn more. You'll just find more ways to spend it. So even if it's just $5 a week, because it's not about the amount, it's about the behavior. This is talking about the patterns and the principles, right? That these small, consistent saving and investing has massive returns down the line. So just get into that habit and start flexing there, and then you get stronger and fitter and resilient. Then we go on to F, which is flexible assets. So I had another limiting belief because I was brought up with property. I bought my first home after working 3 jobs at age 24. And that limiting belief that did keep me financially stuck was that property is the only way to make wealth. What we learnt, or the truth is that wealth creation comes from a mix of owning different income earning assets. And we've all felt when the property market drops, what does that do to your financial well-being? And if you've only got property, that can have severe consequences. Like I had a client who had 13 rental properties in Christchurch. Christchurch earthquakes happened. 9 of them got completely wiped out. So the major impacts to her property portfolio or to her wealth portfolio because she didn't have anything else. So it's thinking about diversifying. An example is we just talked about smartphones. Most people have a smartphone. If you bought an iPhone, so the first iPhone came out, I think, in 2007. So if you bought that iPhone and then you upgraded your iPhone every single year, by last year you would have spent $22,000. And all you would have to show for that is a pile of old iPhones. But if you had have invested that if you had to become an owner of Apple and you bought Apple stocks, you would have over $300,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a mind shift, right? From being a consumer to being an owner. It's diversifying your portfolio into other income earning assets. Again, so it's creating that strength and flexibility and resilience in your wealth. E is for early wins. So I had another limiting belief that used to keep me back and stuck financially, and that's, you know what, I'll have time to sort out my finances later. Yeah, well, we all know that time is your most valuable asset. Time in the market is really important. We know this with property, right? The best time to buy was yesterday. The second best time to buy was today. So start doing that, because waiting is the most expensive decision that you'll ever make. You don't have to be perfect. Don't think, oh my gosh, what do I need to do? I've got to make sure that it's the right thing. Just get started.
As you said earlier, it's those habits, forming those habits,
Yes, habits, patterns and principles. And then the R is resilience. And this is your safety nets. This is what keeps you resilient. This is what gives you security and safety and confidence. So we'll talk about, when we talk about the insurance strategy side of things, that's your resilience there.
Sounds like you took a lot away from this. I imagine this wasn't a cheap trip to go and hear from those titans, but wow, what takeaways. And I'm guessing now your job is to go and sort of filter that into your business and your current clients?
Yeah, everybody.
It's like a recheck-in with everybody?
Yeah, it's friends, it's family, it's neighbours that I'm sharing this. Like, most people don't have the funds to be able to invest the way that I have into this, and to have access into the room with these, with these people and learn from this. So I'm sharing it with anybody who is interested.
Go on, be honest. Did you get caught up in the American way? Because we're not like that down here, but they're very good at sort of taking you on that journey. As presenters, and like you just named people that are fabulous presenters that you can't help but get swept into their charisma as well as what they're talking about.
Oh, you need that. Because when you're in a room for 14 hours, 5 days a week, and you're learning intensive stuff like private equities and markets and economic and debt cycles and all sorts of things.
Personality.
You need all of that. And so those were the best speakers, because it's the ones that typically have charisma and they bring energy into the room, and they bring it to life. Like sometimes talking about debt cycles or economics is freaking boring, you know. You actually just start going cross-eyed and zoning out. So it's those that have energy and bring it to life. Like Steve and I was not that great. Well, I didn't think as a kid at school that I was great at math, so I hated numbers. I hated mathematics. I felt dumb and stupid. But then what I realized is that now I love working with numbers because numbers don't lie. They're transparent, which I love, and they share a story. So when I work with clients, I'm sharing their story, and they either like their story or they don't like where the story is going. And that's okay, because then we can just change it. Yeah. We can make these different shifts.
All right, financial mapping is something that we always talk about, and the importance of a health check, which links beautifully into your topic today. Tell us about that, but also I'm curious what tweaks and changes you may have made after this journey.
So if you're feeling stressed, worried, uncertain, you're not alone. We've been helping many, many, many people. Yes, there's inflation, cost of living, mortgages, kids, there's all sorts of things, jobs on edge.
Are you noticing that more at the moment than ever
more
before?
Yeah, especially I'd say in the last 10 months, we've had a lot more inquiries with financial mapping, and definitely a lot more in the last 7 months where there's been redundancies. And I know, and I've experienced this, you know, myself, and I talked about my story, is that financial stress, it feels heavy. It sucks your energy, and it steals. It's like the biggest thief. It steals your peace of mind. And that's why we love to help people. So we help you get clarity on where you're at right now and where you want to be, and we provide those insights that might be holding you back. This is your blind spots, right? We don't know what we don't know. So, for example, recently we had a couple. They're in their 40s. They've got a couple of kids and a mortgage and a couple of rental properties, and they had worked so hard for this, and they got referred through to us from some friends, and they were really stressed out and worried that everything was going to start unraveling. So we financially mapped it out. We stress tested their portfolio. I asked them the tough questions, and we ran different scenarios. What if your rentals drop 10%, 20%, 30%? Could you hold on? How long for? What if interest rates went up just by 1%? How long could you survive that? Could you survive it? How long could you survive that for? I actually pushed it out to 3%, so model it out to 7%. 8%, because if they're not feeling yucky at that, then we know we're good, right? It gives them that resilience and that strength. Also, if you lost your job or if you got sick, you know, and you couldn't earn, how long could you survive that for? So we realized that one of their rental properties was a ticking time bomb, and we modeled out different scenarios. They ended up selling that rental property. They cleared the debt, which ended up cutting 7 years off their total mortgage term, putting $387,000 on interest rates back into their pocket. And she said to me, it's like we just found buried treasure in our own backyard, and now we feel like we've got freedom and choices, and I can sleep again.
But we talk a lot on the show about involving the experts, and that's where you come in, you know, because we do get lost in our own financial sort of doom and gloom, if you like, or we can't see through it. And it's having that expert who's been there, done it, seen all these cases, to just go, hang on, and let's stress test it. Yeah, I love that.
And you're so right. Like, sometimes when we are stuck or we're in a state of stress, we can just start looping, and looping's bad when just things just keep going around and around and around in the head. So when you go through an expert, they're coming from a different perspective, right? And most of the time, in my experience, I find that things aren't actually as bad as what people think. No,
plus you're neutral. You're looking at the whole portfolio and everything, where they might be going, but I like that place. We went and purchased that back when you and I first met, and like all of that disappears when someone neutral comes in.
Exactly. Well, we share the numbers, share their story, and it's either, yay, it's an adventure and everybody's happy, or it's looking to be like a disaster, and they can change it, right? So we love that. So they had much more freedom and choices moving forward. And with the insurance strategy, because we help this family out as well, think of this as your wealth's immune system. So building wealth can take time, but losing it can happen just like that. And I've seen it, health scare, job loss, suddenly everything that you've worked hard for is at risk. And I know insurance isn't sexy, but it is your safety net. This is what builds resilience and security and confidence and that peace of mind. So again, with our insurance clients, we actually provide a free high-level financial mapping so that you're not over-insured. We're very strategic when it comes to insurance protection. And we teach you what insurers don't teach you. It's my favorite because they don't teach you a lot. So the same family, they had existing insurance and their insurer had hiked their premiums again, another 15%. And they told me that they were scared to drop the cover, but they just couldn't keep up with the payments. So again, financially mapping out their world, getting very strategic on what do you actually really need, so you're not overinsured and you're not paying for stuff that you don't need. So we restructured the cover. And importantly, here's some key points. Most people don't know that they're missing out on free benefits. So we optimize those free benefits, such as kids under age 21, they can be covered for free, which gives you peace of mind that if anything happens, then you've got a lump sum coming in that's going to help bridge medical treatment costs. You can take time off work and be there for them. There's also free benefits that extend not just to your dependents, but to your parents as well. So if your parents are still around, like I used it, my dad's uninsurable, but he's covered for free with certain benefits under my policy, which is amazing.
Yeah. I don't think many people would know that at all.
No, they don't. Insurers don't really talk about
funny that. Yeah.
Funny that. But we do. And then also there's this other beautiful benefit that I love, which is free, which is a premium waive. So meaning if you hit hard times, if you get laid off or if you get into financial challenges, don't stress. Just give us a call because you can have your premiums waived for up to 6 months. You don't pay it back. It's a full premium waive. And the beauty is that you and your family are still covered.
Wow.
Yeah. So this has been a gorgeous benefit that we've been able to utilise for so many people in the last few years. And again, it's that resilience, right? It's that peace of mind and security. We're well known for helping people save thousands and thousands in insurance premiums. So if you receive that policy anniversary letter which says, hey, your premiums are increasing again, and don't stress, know that you've got options. So again, insurers don't teach you how to do this, but we strategize around this and help clients save thousands in premiums. So it's about securing what you've built, right? This is your wealth's immune system. We want it to be strong, we want it to be flexible, and we want it to be resilient. We want it to have your back so that if there is a crisis with your health or with your financial well-being, you and your family can bounce forward again.
And all these things are helping you towards those 20 extra summers.
Yes.
Surely, I mean, it is those things, isn't it? If we get sick and we're in a public system waiting, the chance of that illness getting worse versus having the medical insurance that enables you to go and get dealt to straight away is expanding that life and vitality.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
All right, last topic of the day is KiwiSaver. Give us a little bit of an update in that space, because that's been in the media a little bit lately.
Yeah, well, I like to think of this as your wealth energy boost.
Yeah.
Your KiwiSaver is not just cash. This is like your financial heartbeat. Ask yourself, is it pumping with energy or is it fading away? How did your fund hold up during COVID? There was a black swan event that shook everything. Did your KiwiSaver flex and recover? Or did it flatline? Are you confident that it's the appropriate fund for your age and stage of life? Is it going to support your goals? Is it strong enough to carry you to 65 summers and beyond? Look at fees. Fees are like silent parasites. They're slowly draining your energy away. So, for example, a client came to us and he was bleeding fees and his fund barely grew through COVID, and we restructured to a fund that aligns with his risk tolerance and his financial goals. And now he's powering up for another 470k more by age 65.
Wow.
Yeah, so
okay, I'm booking my appointment. Cool.
Small shifts, big results.
Because KiwiSaver is one of those things that you first sign up at some point in your employment and you kind of just tick the box and you go with the default. And if they're good, they stay in touch. They keep you informed, but it probably isn't one that we go, is it working for me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take long to have a quick review on it. And you're right. Actually, most people that do get referred to me, they've been with the bank insurance.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can show them all sorts of different things, and just don't let it sit there, because you could be robbing yourself of thousands from your long-term wealth.
So if somebody comes for a session with Jaime James, talk us through it, like that road mapping, checking, like what do you need from somebody? If they're going to come and sit down with you, what do they bring?
So usually it starts with a quick phone call. So I want to understand, what's keeping you up at night? What are your challenges? What are your priorities? What's happening in your life that you don't want, and what do you want? So that we can then start strategizing. Then we book in a financial mapping or insurance strategy meeting. We send you out a form so we can gather some information, and I run a financial analysis prior to our meeting.
Right.
So when we jump in that Teams or that Zoom call, we can just dive straight in. And then we model it out. We help you get clarity on where you are, where you want to go. We bridge that gap, and we give you the tools and strategies and that support. So it's about, I think it's very simple. Know what you want, get a plan, then go out and do it.
Is it ever too late to have that conversation?
It's never too late.
I guess people, if you're still paying insurance, etc., you certainly want it relooked at.
Yeah, 100%.
How often should we relook at things like KiwiSaver, insurance, etc.? Like, I mean, Tāpiri, when we're talking mortgages, always says every year or two, make sure you come in and look. Should we be refinancing? Where does it sit in the insurance space?
It depends. Depends on your age and stage of life. Depends on how your insurance has been set up. If you've gone through changes, it's probably a good time to review it. If you haven't reviewed it for a while, it's probably a good time. If your premiums are going up, it is definitely the time to get that reviewed, because you do not have to have your premiums increasing each year. Okay. And you should not be without those free benefits that are available.
Fascinated by that. Fascinated. All right. How can people get in touch, find out more, learn from you, etc., and follow your amazing stories?
Easy. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, where I'm sharing tips and strategies, talking about those patterns and principles. And everything's on the website, jamie@jamiejames.com. Just book in for a 15-minute chat. My diary's open. Pick your spot. Make it count. In the notes section, tell me what's keeping you up at night. What challenges are you facing? What do you want? What don't you want? Is it security, freedom, choices? And then we'll just cut through the noise and put a plan together. So we've already helped hundreds of families and professionals all over the country, but now it's your turn. So I'm really looking forward to connecting with you.
Nice. And I can guarantee our listeners that incredible energy you hear down the lines tonight is exactly what you'll have when you meet up with Jaime. With your studies and training you've done recently, have you got the next one in the sights of what you want to do next?
Always.
Is that overseas as well, sort of continuing this journey?
I'm actually going to do some of them online, because I've been to Florida twice, India, Abu Dhabi, it's crazy places, and then obviously I got back from Fiji at an event, a Wealth Mastery event, and then 10 hours later I was on a flight to Whistler. So I'm just going to stay here for a while, enjoy our goddaughter and hang out.
Curl up in your comfy clothes watching on Zoom.
Yeah, exactly.
No one can see the wine in the coffee cup either. Because with the time differences, that's what I find. Some of these international courses are actually hard work, because they're trying to stimulate your brain at 11 p.m. at night when they're just starting their day over there.
Yeah, I'm up at 1 a.m. going for 14 hours, but I've trained myself. I've been doing this for decades, so it's I love it. It's brilliant. All about learning, living and sharing.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us once again. We'll look forward to catching up with you again in the future.
Thank you,
Take
Stephen.
care, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
If you've got any questions or you want Jamie's information, email us at propertymatters@barfoot.co.nz. Join us next week when our third friend in the mix, Tāpiri Hewitt's in to chat all things mortgage and finances. Have a fabulous week. Travel safe. Catch you next week.